for me, you know, different opportunities come along, and just because I don't like it right now doesn't mean that I'm not meant to be here. I'm not gonna make this decision based off of emotions and feelings, or at least try not to, but just definitely calling a spade, call it for what it is. You know, do you really think that you're a good fit here? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is eVani, and this video is going to be a bit different than my normal videos. It is not going to be as scripted as my regular ones. I'm just gonna, you know, come on and let you guys know where I've been at. Okay, but you know how beauty gurus will do the chit chat, like get ready with me's? So I'm not a beauty guru, but it's gonna be like deep condition with me, like kind of like we're at the salon and we talking about life and everything. Now I haven't actually been to a salon in years, but it's gonna kind of be like that, informal. Like I'm just talking with you guys and letting you know where I've been at, catching you up with my life and everything like that while I'm deep conditioning. So this is not a tutorial, it's not a routine. You can do what I do if you want to, but you don't have to. That's not what this is. So I've already washed my hair. I use apple cider vinegar. It is the first of the month, not the actual first, but within the first week of the month. That's always when I deep clean with shampoos. But I used apple cider vinegar, and this time the shampoo I used was the Tresemme Botanique Nourish and Replenish Coconut Milk and Aloe Vera shampoo, just a little bit of it. And then I used this. And I actually enhanced my apple cider vinegar. I put different essential oils in here, so let me know if you guys want to see a video on that, because I think it does contribute to a lot of hair growth and scalp health and cleanliness. Now I'm about to deep condition. I brought two Shea moisture masks here. I didn't know which one to use. I have the deep treatment mask, this one. I've used this once before. I think this sat on the shelf too long. I feel like it's more runny than it needs to be, than it should be. I don't know, I feel like this is old. So I like it, but I don't think it's at its full potential. I used it once before when I was Texlaxed, didn't fancy it that much then, returned it, and now I'm using it again. Now that I'm natural, I do like it a lot more. But I did use this one last time I deep conditioned. I think I showed you guys that on Snapchat. This one, I had told you guys, this is a Manuka Honey Amphora Oil one. It's really good, extremely moisturizing, but I did make a video saying that I was slightly allergic to it. I think it's an African fig rock or whatever it is in here. I don't know. I do not know, but I'm gonna wash it out in the sink and not all over my body in the shower. So yeah. So I'm just gonna get started. I have a spray bottle here full of water too, so in case my hair dries out any. It's damp right now. Yeah. Oh my god. Your hair could dry out like super fast when you're natural. It happens so fast. It's crazy. But this is what my texture is looking like, y'all. Let me do a close up. Hopefully it'll focus and everything. This is the Palo. I'm not wearing any makeup or anything like that. That's how you know this is informal. So let's get started. So I have taken longer hiatuses from YouTube unannounced, but I didn't like that, you know. It just ended up being that way. And this time I didn't plan on it being that way either, but it's just the way that life works out. So I told you guys on Snapchat and in my last e-vlog and on Twitter, follow me there, shameless plug, because you can keep up with me more. Like, that's just the easiest way to keep up with me and what I'm doing with my life. I had told you guys that I got a new job. It was basically working at a general store. I'm gonna use this one. working at a general store, and it was like very antique styled, old, really cool looking venue. My friend was the appointed manager. They had closed down for renovations for 15 months and then reopened, and this place was like super startup. So my friend was the manager. He's like, hey Ev, would love you on the team, this would be great, let's do it. And I was like, sure. The location was close to my house. It was paying like a decent amount of money for what it was, and I was like, you know what, I need a job, I need a gig to start making money, you know, because the last job I had was like this time last year, and that was like my corporate job, and I told you guys that it wasn't for me because I would just get so stressed out to the point where I had like serious health problems, and I can't keep doing that. I can't keep living that lifestyle. So, you know, that 9 to 5, I don't know if it's, I'm not saying I'm counting it out altogether as it being not for me, but at that time, it wasn't for me. But you still need money to live. You still need money to get by, whatever. And even for me, just like pursuing my music career, you need money for that. You need money for all of that. And so I split my hair into 4 sections. That's just the way life works out. And so I got this gig and I started working there, and I had never done food prep. I was never in the food prep industry, restaurant industry gig thing before. And you have to be a fast learner. Now, for the most part, I learn more slowly than other people because I see more slowly than other people. You guys know I have an eye condition. It's called Stargardt's, and it's basically like visual impairment, like severe visual impairment. And me trying to adjust at this job with that condition was very difficult. So one of the things that happens is that you have to learn how to make the deli sandwiches. There were cooks in the back. They were making all of the hot food, and we as servers and, you know, like register people made the like cold and hot sandwiches and stuff, and we would just like give it back, pass it back to the cooks to warm up or whatever. And that was fine, but you basically have to memorize the menu, know what's on there, and read these tickets, these little yellow tickets. The cooks would get the black and white copy, and we as servers would get the carbon copy. So it was like a light gray on top of a yellow. That contrast for me is deadly. I just can't see it. I just can't see it, like point blank period. I can't see it. Another problem area for me was the register. And I can insert a picture here of what the register looked like, but at the distance that I was standing and where the register was located, I just couldn't see it. I would have to get this close to it in order for me to see it. It was awful. So I couldn't really be on register. I had to try and adjust, and it was extremely difficult for me. I'll start in the back. And it was really hard because I overheard, and this isn't like necessarily a reflection of them, but just how I fit in the job. I overheard some of the employees saying how hard it was to have a shift with me because I wasn't an independent worker. I wasn't an independent employee. And so I constantly depended on other people to see things for me. Not read, because obviously I went to college, I graduated, I have a degree. I can read. That's not what this is. But usually right off the bat, that's what people assume, that I can't read. And it's like, no, I just can't see, but I can definitely read. It's not a learning disability, it's a visual disability. So for me, it was like I needed their pair of eyes to function. I was never an independent employee, and for me it's really scary to be that, because what if someone calls out? What if I'm there by myself? What if I have to be on the register and ring people out and any of that? Like I just could not stand alone. that was a problem. And I would end up slowing other people down because I would interrupt their jobs also to help me with my job, and it just made everything go by very, very slowly. And so I overheard them talking how like hard it was, how difficult it was to have shift with me, because I, again, was very dependent on them to do my job and their job. And people are limited resources. You can't do it all. You can't do everything. And so for me, it was really difficult trying to adjust in that atmosphere, and me having to make an executive decision about my life, basically. You know, just because something is hard doesn't mean it's going to get better. Well, it doesn't mean it's not going to get better. And just because you can't do it right now doesn't mean you won't ever be able to do it. It's just a matter of adjusting, giving yourself time to grow and learning. But again, I didn't think that was any of the issues I was having. I thought it was the speed at which you had to prepare the food, which I wasn't moving as quickly as everyone else. I do believe that they had like experience, but I still don't think that I was ever gonna move as quickly as everyone else, even with accommodations and stuff. They had considered getting like a register jack to try and bring up the screen to my face so that I could see it better, but even still, with all of that, it was reading the tickets if I was ever back on deli. It was reading the tickets and being able to make the sandwiches and get the food out to customers like in a timely manner, and that wasn't something that I could do. And so for me, like I said, I was making an executive decision about my life. Like I believe in God, I believe in Jesus, I'm a Christian, I believe he died on the cross for our sins and everything. And for me, you know, different opportunities come along, and just because I don't like it right now doesn't mean that I'm not meant to be here. I'm not gonna make this decision based off of emotions and feelings, or at least try not to, but just definitely calling a spade, call it for what it is. You know, do you really think that you're a good fit here? And is this something that could improve for later use, later time? You know, like, is it just right now because we're so startup, and they had a lot of different procedures and stuff that wasn't necessarily worked out, but again, it had just opened. It was opening week. It was super busy. It was just it was chaos and like organized to a certain point, but still everybody was learning, and it was just so hard for me to try and survive in that atmosphere. And so I prayed about it, and I was like, this, you know, isn't for me. I, you know, really tried to make sure I wasn't making like an impulse decision just because it felt bad and it was uncomfortable and I didn't like it. So I quit. I ended up quitting the job. I told my manager. He, you know, understood and everything. I just decided, I was like, this isn't for me. I'm not doing well here. And all of my other jobs that I've ever had, I've never been that dependent on other employees, not to the point where I was slowing them down or anything like that. This was different for me, like this industry, food prep industry, all of that. It was very different for me, but still, it wasn't something I felt like would hinder me that much, I guess you could say. I don't know. It just, it was very clear that my eye condition was like a problem, not one that could necessarily be fixed or accommodated to the point of bringing me up to regular standards. And I was just like, you know what, this isn't for me. You guys need an employee that can stand alone, that can do what is required of this job, because I am not that girl. So I quit. I told you guys, Snapchat, Twitter, and I was sending out like subliminal tweets about, you know, what was going on with me. I was sending out subliminal tweets, not actually saying that I was like quitting my job or anything like that, but just saying that everything ain't for everybody, and everybody's not meant to do every single job. My concern with me was that I was a quitter. I didn't want to be a quitter. I don't want to be labeled a quitter. And, you know, then comes like the kind of like depressive thoughts for me, because I mean, I try not to get stuck in these like downward thinking spirals, but it's hard because it's like, oh, Stargarts wins again. You know, this, do I have it or does it have me? And I kind of if my life away. Like, if I could see, then, like, there have been so many opportunities I feel like have just fallen through my fingers because this one thing that went wrong 11, 13 years ago has determined so much of my life, and I hate it, but I can't change it. And I don't know where I fit in as far as becoming independent and getting a job and standing on my own 2 feet. You know, what accommodations would bring me up to normal? I don't think there's any. What job could I do that doesn't require me to have to see? I don't think that there's any. What, you know, I usually, whenever I had other jobs, I would just memorize whatever it is that I needed to see. So you didn't actually have to see. I know that sounds weird, but you don't actually have to see. You just memorize whatever it is that everybody else is seeing, and then you move forward. And so for that reason, I like remember everything. I can remember a lot, even in school, you know. But I also had the opportunity to learn things at my own pace, and that's why those jobs worked out. Again, I still learned things much slower because I couldn't see as quickly, but I eventually got through it. You know, I got through it. And that was not the case here. I didn't think I was ever going to adjust to the point where I could stand on my own by myself. And so I keep thinking, where do I fit? Where do I go? What's a good enough place for me where I can make money, be independent, actually follow a dream, chase it, follow it, whatever, and be who I want to be, and not just be by default a quitter or broken. And it more or less ends up being that, because I feel like it happens more often now. Like, when I first got diagnosed, my vision wasn't this bad. It wasn't this bad. But now I feel like it's plateaued. It's gotten to a point and it's plateaued. But it's like, what jobs cater towards people like me? Like, the world obviously is not made for disability people. It's made for abilitied people, people with abilities. And that kind of leaves you always feeling left out of every arena. And vision affects everything, you know? It affects everything, and it's hard to kind of determine where you fit in life, because essentially you don't ever feel like you fit anywhere, ever. The world was not made for people like me. And, you know, for me to want to sing and want to, like, chase my dreams and everything, it's just like, how hard is this thing gonna be? I know everybody's got something. I know it, but that's not as comforting. I want my something to go away, and like I said, I just if my life away. And I hate the fact that this thing eats up opportunities. It was decent money. It was good tips. I enjoyed my employees. It was a good atmosphere. It was everything was right but me. Everything was right about it but me. And I don't know how to get around it. Like, how to not be a liability, how to not be so heavy to other people and still be functional myself, or at least have some sense of independence and functionality. I am caught between, like, completely giving up and, like, applying for disability or something, and then, or continually, like, trying to be normal and holding, like, I don't know if I'll ever be that, you know, like, trying to hold myself to these standards that I might not ever meet physically. Like, there are things that I physically just cannot do, and it's like I just fall through the cracks. I don't know where I fit, and it sucks a lot because I feel like it's eating up my money. Like, I'm still at home with my parents right now. I don't know how I'm gonna be able to get out and do what I want to do in life, how I'm gonna rise to the occasion. I don't know where I could go to make money, or what I could do that actually is lucrative enough for me to live on my own. And I kind of just feel like I always get X'd out of these opportunities. It's like Stargart's ding 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 takes another one down. Ebony 0, Stargart's like 500 million, you know. How do I get past it? And I have done, you know, a lot. I think I've done a decent amount of work in life to be considered not a quitter, but it's kind of just like you're fading fast, you know. You fade fast. And things that even everybody else can do, like, oh, everybody can do this job. It's like, no, not me. But that's still me trying to like be normal. So I would do the job. I have put in my 2-week notice, and that was that. So that's where I've been, because it was only part-time, but it stressed me out enough because my learning curve was so much like harder than everyone else's. It's so much curvier than the rest of the world, you know. It's just like, it's just so iconically frustrating, and I hate that it keeps coming up. It's the same problem. It just comes up over and over again. It just comes up. It just keeps coming up. At any time like opportunities present themselves, I'm constantly measuring it up against my abilities and against my disability, and whether or not I have the means or resources or ability to do what it is that people are asking me to do. And 9 times out of 10, you know, the answer is no. And it kind of just leaves me wondering, like, where do I fit in life? Where do I go? Where do I fit? And it can get really depressing, because it's like I don't know how to be anything else. And that's what is so, I think, sad about everything, because if you were fully blind, if I was fully blind, I think that there would be a lot of help. But I'm not that, and I'm not disabled enough to receive help, but I'm not able enough to help myself. And it's like, well, where do I go? Where do I fit? I found a channel on YouTube called Style Like You, and I love them. I love their survivor stories. I love the fact that, you know, these people, these individuals that it's their what's underneath line not line, but like series of videos. I love that those people, you know, have even had like horrifically awful things that have been done to them, but they still are standing. You know, they still have like good careers, and they've overcome whatever it is that was in their way. I feel like I'm still overcoming, like I'm not necessarily there yet. And for me to dream of things that, like, I just feel like I need so much help. I need so much more help. And I don't know where it's all gonna come from. Not that it's my job to figure it out, because like I said, I didn't make myself this way. I believe in God for a lot, because I am not able to do many things, even things that, you know, regular people could do. Well, I can do a lot of things, but it's like the one thing that went wrong still reigns over everything else that is right. And I don't know how to get out of that rut necessarily. Did I do this section already? No. Okay. So that is where I have been. That is how I have been coping. Like I said, I have taken longer hiatuses from YouTube. That's the other thing. YouTube. There are people who get like, well, I'm not gonna say people. I'm sure they try. I'm sure they put money into it. I'm sure they go to events and do everything that would enhance their channel, but I'm not that either. I feel like I'm not that either. Especially when it comes to traveling, like means of traveling. And how do you travel with no money? And how do you get money if you can't keep a job, you know? A job that's going to accept you at your level, whatever it is. So that's where I've been. That is where I've been. I think whenever I get stressed out, I shut down, obviously. But all of my effort and energy goes into whatever is stressing me out because I'm trying to like survive there in that arena. I'm trying not to drown there. And then I end up drowning anyway. And so everything else goes down with it, even if I didn't want it to. I feel like YouTube, it takes a lot of time and there's algorithms and everything else, but YouTube is the one thing I can do. Like, I have a camera. I have a better camera now. I sit in front of my window and I do my hair, and I belong here. I definitely feel like I belong here because there is no learning curve. I mean, with editing videos and stuff like that, but it's not like I'm being compared to other co-workers and stuff as far as how well I'm performing or if I can do what it is that I can do. I can do this. I can sit here, I can record videos, I can do my hair, I can answer questions, you know, I can do this. Despite what's wrong with me, and I like it here. I like it being comfortable here. Is this like a steady mainstream form of income? No. Can it be? Sure, one day, maybe. But that's not even my real dream. You guys know that. I want to sing, so I just feel like time goes by and Stargarts keeps winning. It keeps taking. It takes from me, whether I want it to or not. And again, I'm not telling you guys any of this for you to like feel sorry for me. This is not a pity party. It's really me telling you guys what's going on with my life, and when I disappear, it's me probably attempting to be normal, some kind of functionality and mainstream of income to be regular, and I end up drowning every time because I'm not that. And me having to accept that has been difficult over the years. You kind of just like fade. You fade a lot. You watch yourself fade a lot, and I don't like it. I do not like it, but I can't stop it either. I can't change it. I can't work around it. I just feel like, oh, am I doomed to be broke and blind and stuck in with my parents? I know that's not God's plan for me. I know that. I just don't know what the plan is because I'm tired of being this version of me. But it's like I can't upgrade and I can't get out. So I try not to think in that downward spiral. I really do. I really, like, I'm like, oh, well, this isn't the job for me. I'm just going to find wherever it is. But it, you know, that can still lead to the downward spiral. Anyway. That is where I have been, y'all. Mentally, physically, spiritually. That is where I have been. Trying to handle my life. Inevitably, may or may not actually be handling anything at all. But yeah. I'm done deep conditioning with the Shea Moisture Manuka Honey Amphora Oil one. I'm going to wear my conditioning cap. And either sit under the dryer or walk around and do clean and stuff, because I know my room never looks dirty when I'm filming. But there's stuff like on the other side of my bed. You know, I got to clean that up, girl. But yeah, that is where I have been. If you guys don't know about Style Like You, go check them out. They are amazing. They're absolutely amazing. Their stories inspire me a lot to keep going, cause they did. Those people did. They kept going. Things got better for them, some way, somehow. And I think that might be one of my things. That might be something that happens to me. I don't know how, but you gotta keep going to figure out the end of the story. So anyway, I'm done talking. That is where I have been. I am done deep conditioning. I'm gonna vacuum now because there's hair all over the place. And I will see you all in my next one. Thumbs up this video if you liked it. If you want me to do more chit chatty deep conditioning, maybe like chit chatty other videos, because I feel like, you know, I can get more personal on this channel. What else do I have to do? Anyway, thumbs up the video, comment down below, subscribe to my world.